Hi beautiful weirdos, Charlotte here. Welcome back to Pretty Scary after a rather long absence. Huge apologies, it's taken me so long to post my next video. But aside from needing a massive rest after a month and a half of 18-hour days working on 31 days of Halloween, or almost 31 days of Halloween, I've had loads of other things going on in my life too. So massive apologies, but I'm back. And I am coming back with a bang and doing a collab with a lovely girl on Instagram called Wolfie Black SFX, and we are doing voodoo dolls. So today is my take on my voodoo doll, and I'm going to stick on my creepy stories and I am going to make a start. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm back and I've got lots of exciting things coming up and lots of cool things for Christmas. So yeah, hit the subscribe button. Good to be back. I've missed you all. Why am I waving? I'm not going, I'm starting. Hi! Measure your muslin to see how much you need to wrap over your head. I pre-dyed my muslin with some coffee just to give it an aged effect. Then you want to make your voodoo doll pins by cutting the ends off some cotton buds, and then I just moulded new pin ends with some Model Magic. You can use any clay you have. I made 3 of these. You can make as many as your heart desires. Please excuse the green stripes down my screen. I've tried to rectify this on my camera and I can't afford a new camera, so for the time being, they're stopping. Think of them as our new green friends. Anyway, was just painting the pins there black as a base coat, and while they are drying, I'm cutting some holes in the muslin that's going over my hair, because I want to pull some bits of hair out to give like sort of a straggly hair effect. And here you can see me pulling said bits of straggly hair through the holes. Not gonna lie, this was a little bit fiddly, so you can leave this bit out if you want and just have a completely covered head even, but I decided to persevere because I wanted to, and because I like to make my life difficult. Life for myself difficult. Oh, I'm really cocking up this voiceover, aren't I? Anyway, keeping it real guys, keeping it real. Right, so once you've got your straggly pieces of hair out, you want to pull the rest of your hair back with the muslin and tie it into a bun and just pin it into place to keep it out of the way. Putting a few more stragglers out there. I also want to apologise for the light. It was a bit on and off this day because the weather was shit, because I live in the UK. And it's winter. Anyway, just gluing the edges of the muslin to my head with some prosaide glue, and then measuring out the piece for my lower jaw. You want to make a piece for the upper and the lower jaw because that's what's going to create your smile. And then I took some string and just smudged some brown grease paint over it to do the stitches in the mouth. I used the same brown grease paint just to cover my eyes and mouth, which is where the muslin will be able to be seen through, so you don't want your skin poking through. And I just powdered that so that it wasn't transferring and stopping the glue from sticking the muslin. And then I put some prosaide over the top of my face, just for that top jaw piece. Allowed that to go clear so it goes tacky, stuck the piece down, and now you can just see me poking some holes with some scissors to create that sewn up mouth, and just gluing the piece up. So you want to create sort of ripples in the piece. It doesn't need to be neat and tidy because you are a voodoo doll, so you can style this however you like, but just make sure you don't glue down your actual holes, because then you won't be able to thread the string through. And doing the same with the lower jaw piece, just sticking on some prosaide, waiting for it to go tacky and clear, and then gluing that bottom piece on. I've already pre-made the holes in the bottom piece, which I probably should have done with the top piece too, but I wasn't quite sure where I wanted them to go. And then just threading that string through. This is quite fiddly too, but persevere because it's worth it in the end. Make sure you put a knot in the the end of the piece just so it doesn't come straight through the holes and just pull all the way through and then just come out, because you don't want that. So yeah, so just threading it through to sew up that smile and create that lovely wide voodoo doll smile. Use some rounded end scissors if you need to poke the holes a little bit bigger. Just be very careful using scissors around your face, even if they are rounded ends. But it's really easy to poke holes in the muslin because it's quite open weave and it's not very strong material, so it's very easy to work with and very forgiving. And then just tying the loose ends behind onto the bun and sticking any loose ends into the face with some more prosaide. And you can see that the zombie voodoo doll face, I'm really excited myself today, aren't I? The voodoo doll face is really starting to take shape. Now muslin is just amazing because it's really mouldable, you can see through it, your skin can breathe through it, you can breathe through it, so you're not going to suffocate. It really is a great material for creating this voodoo doll look. And I'm just sticking one piece over the eye because I wanted one of the eyes to look like it was gone and one of the eyes to be showing. But in all honesty, you could cover both eyes because you can see straight through it when it's close up to your eye, but you'd probably be more comfortable with one eye showing, especially if you're wearing this look to a party. And then I just cut a very rough heart out of some more of the muslin and stick it to my chest. And then just finishing off those pins by dry brushing a layer of silver over the top of the black. The black was just to give some depth. And then using some good old liquid latex on a throwaway sponge just to mould the areas of the muslin more to my face so it fits the contours of my face. As I said, muslin is really, really mouldable, so it's great. You can mould it with the prosaide glue if you're allergic to latex. I just use latex because it's cheaper and more plentiful than the prosaide, which is quite expensive. You can protect your hair with some cling film, which I probably should have done because the latex and the glue can go through the muslin, so I just used it very sparingly. But, you know, if you're not sure, then do put some cling film on before you cover your hair. And then I'm just using some grease paint to colour up the muslin. Just darkening up the eyes and darkening up that smile just to give it a bit more definition. Again, this is where muslin is great because it takes colour really well. You can use grease paint, you can use water-based paints if you want. I didn't because they take a while to dry, but you can always use hairdryer to speed things up. You can even use just normal makeup, so eyeshadows, which you will see me using later for some more shading, or even lipsticks. And just using that same grease paint over my body to start to blend my body in with the voodoo doll face. Just smudging it in with my hands. And then using Margot, good old Margot by Laura Mercier, one of my favourite shadow tones for shading. And just shading in the folds of the fabric to create a little bit more interest and dimension and texture on my voodoo doll. I then use some cut up pieces of undyed string to create some more stitches on the mouth and also around the heart on the chest. I just stuck these down with liquid latex. You can use prosaide though if you prefer. And then just stuck my voodoo doll pins in one of the holes in the head and put the other one in my mouth. Use a little bit more eyeshadow just to dirty things up a bit. I use Coffee Ground by Laura Mercier, which is a nice deep brown. Bit of a change of lighting there because the sun decided to go in. And use some more of that Coffee Ground shade to go around the heart and around the eyes, just to deepen that up a little bit. I want around the mouth and the nose. Messed up the hair and we're done. My beauty's finished look. As you can see, you can talk perfectly well. You can also see perfectly well even through the covered eye because the muslin is that thin that once it's up next to your eye you can see straight through it. So you could even do this look with both eyes covered if you wanted. And yeah, you can drink through a straw. You might be able to eat very thin things like twiglets or pepperomis. Anyway, I hope you like this tutorial. If you did, please give it a massive thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. I've loved being back in the game, and I love you all, and I shall see you next time.